Back on the Peter King podcast. Very happy to be joined by Von Miller of the Denver Broncos. Von, you have really done a lot with your life that it's interesting. A lot of people try to do multiple things outside of football, then they don't take care of football maybe as much as they should. Mm-hmm. You have done a lot of things about football while taking care of football. You've done a lot this offseason with your new head coach, Vic Fangio, to try to up your, pass rush game and all that. So what's the secret to being able to do all the things that you do?
I mean, I do a lot of stuff good, but the thing I do the best is play football, and I'm a great teammate as well. But so I just try to stay in that world and just branch off of that. If I'm not good at it, then I always circle back around and come back to football. But football is what has allowed me to do all of this stuff. Being a great teammate is what has allowed me to do all that stuff. So that's a main priority in my life.
People who are big horse racing fans saw you doing some hosting work for NBC at the Kentucky Derby. What was that like? How did you prepare for that?
Oh, it was incredible. It was a great experience. I've been to the Kentucky Derby before, and so I've been able to participate in the big spectacle and see all the horses and see all the people. But to come back in that fashion and do a lifestyle correspondence piece was life-changing. I did a little bit of work. I did work with CBS. Right before the Super Bowl, did the pregame show. Had a little bit of practice. I get a lot of practice here with the Broncos. We got a lot of media guys that come in and out of this place. We got great media relations guys here. So I was prepared for the opportunity, and I had a great co-host as well. Dylan Dreyer, she was amazing. She just kind of led me into certain subjects, and I just did my thing.
Are you? Is it at all hard for you to combine your lives?
No, you just got to find something. You talking about me and Dylan?
No, I'm talking about to do everything that you do.
No, I just try to be the best Von I can possibly be. I feel like, I'm versatile at a lot of stuff. I raise chickens. I'm a part-time comedian in the locker room. I'm a great teammate. I'm a jokester with my coaches, and I rush the passer. So I just try to be the best Von Miller I could possibly be. What's
the best prank you've ever pulled on a teammate in a locker room, college or pro?
A lot of pranks. I got a lot of pranks, but I tell you the best prank that was pulled on me. My rookie season.
Here?
It was my rookie season here. Wesley Woodyard and Lonnie Paxton. They put fingerprint dust. They put this fingerprint powder in my shoes. And as I started running and stuff, it rubbed into the socks and it rubbed into my toenails. And I didn't know anything about it. It started to rain, and my feet get wet, and I look at my shoes, and it's like these blue bubbles coming out of my shoes. I'm like, man, my shoes are like falling apart. They're evaporating right here. I'm looking at them, and I go inside the locker room. I take off my shoes, and it's just blue. I take off my socks, and my toenails are blue. And I'm like, I started trying to rub it off, and it's not coming off. My toenails stayed blue for about 3 weeks. It was crazy.
How did you get to the bottom of it?
It was crazy. Whenever I came in, whenever you pull a prank off like that, it gets real messy. So they had let the equipment staff know what was going on. So they was kind of, waiting around my locker for me to take my shoes off. And, the main guys that were laughing, was Lonnie Paxton, it was Wesley Woodyard, and they were right here by my locker. So, they had to be the culprits. They might not have been them, but I'm pretty sure to this day that it was.
Did you get revenge, and was revenge best served cold?
No, I didn't get revenge. Back then I was just kind of like a, easygoing teammate. I laughed it off, but thinking about it, I should have just tackled both of those guys.
You have started this thing. You've done it now, 3 years, the pass rush camp? Mm-hmm. So I noticed this year that the offensive linemen now have started a pass protection camp, an offensive line camp. So I wonder, is that in response to what you were doing?
I don't know. I really don't know. And which is all good. I'm all for, these type of camps. Whenever we started the Pass Rush Summit, I thought about it like, the wide receivers and corners should do this. It's perfect for those guys, because when we go out there, we can't really run around, we can't really do much. But a wide receiver and a corner, they can learn so much and get so much from it. But, back on the other hand, I did the camp. I really didn't think about, like, who would do this, who would do that. I just wanted to give back to the game that has given so much to me. I'm all for, offensive camps. It's just Trent Brown. Geez, this guy Trent Brown.
Okay, explain the Trent Brown story.
This guy Trent Brown, he was one of my favorite offensive linemen, right? I've known him for a long time.
Big tackle.
Since he was with the 49ers and the Patriots. My very first time.
Now the Raiders, yeah.
Now the Raiders. My very first time seeing him, I was like, hey, this guy's going to be good. I said he was going to be good. Everybody, they jumped on it. Just one of my favorite offensive linemen. I'm a fan of his size. I'm a fan of his game. So I invited him to the Pass Rush Summit the very first one he came. The second one he wasn't able to come. But then this third one, he came to the Pass Rush Summit, right? And, he gave some pointers. He gave a little bit of pointers. We talked a little bit. But about a month later, I see him at this offensive line camp too. And I'm like, bro, what is going on? So you're going to come to our Pass Rush Summit and then take all the knowledge that you learned, because he was the only offensive lineman there. He come to our Pass Rush Summit, get all the knowledge, then go to this, I don't know what they call it, the offensive line mastermind. I don't know what they call it. But he goes there and I see the footage and he's just pointing out stuff and doing this and really coaching up the class. I said, you know what, Trent, you cannot come back to the Pass Rush Summit anymore. You still my guy, but you can't come back no
more. Vaughn, you, at this point, you've played 8 years in the NFL. Mm-hmm. You got 98 sacks. And I've done a little research on this because it's no secret. When you retire from football, you'd like to hold the all-time sack record, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would like to.
Yeah. So I looked it up, and Bruce Smith, entering his age 30 season, which you're entering right now, Bruce Smith had 92 sacks. So in other words, he got 108 sacks after turning 30. And now to break his record, you'll need to get 103 sacks, because you got 98 sacks. You'll need to get 103 sacks basically in your 30s. Doable?
It's encouraging. It's definitely encouraging. Coach Fangio, we got new leadership here, and he says, don't make any proclamations, and I'm all for that. I got a great coach here. One of the best coaches that I've ever had in my life. We have had great leadership here, but he's an outside linebackers guy. He's coached a lot of great ones. I want to be his greatest product yet. And, I feel like this is a great season. We've already adjusted some stuff that'll make me a better pass rusher. And
is that technique? Is it just mental?
It's just it's the little things, like Coach Fangio says. When you really focus on the little things, it turns into a change of game. It turns into a whole different athlete. And I've bought into that, and I've bought into my outside linebackers coach as well, Coach Staley. He stays up super late, thinking about how to make me and Chubb better. I can really appreciate that. So I've bought into whatever those coaching points that they give me, and I'm just going to lay it out there on the football field.
You've met Bruce Smith, and he's actually been to your camp, right?
Yep.
Okay, so what do you think about his game, and what did you learn from him, if anything? I mean, I can imagine if I'm Bruce Smith. Bruce Smith loves that record. I bet deep down inside, Bruce Smith is saying, hey, hope you have a great career. Hope you get 199 sacks.
Yeah, I mean, but Bruce, if you've ever met the guy, he's so soft-spoken. He dropped all type of knowledge. He didn't hold back anything. He kind of reminds me of DeMarcus. He has that same.
DeMarcus Ware.
He reminds me of DeMarcus Ware. He has that same vibe about him. I'm an open book. I'm gonna give you all the knowledge in the world. You still got to go out and do it. And that's what the Pass Rush Summit is all about. We drop knowledge. We learn from each other. It's guys that come to the camp where they go out and perform, and there's never in a million years would I be able to perform and do what those guys do. It's some stuff that I can do, and whatever we can pick up from each other, that's what we take and put into our games. It's so many different styles of pass rush, so many different body size and body types, and everybody gets to the quarterback in different ways. So you just got to find what makes them great and how that can, how can you, put that into your game. Bruce Smith, his game, he was so huge. He was so huge. He was so big. He was almost bigger. He was bigger than the offensive lineman. He would hit guys with the side swipe, and if he gets the hands, then it's a quick, dip around to the quarterback. If he didn't get the hands, the quarterback pulls him back. He'd just come with the rip, and he'd ride the offensive lineman all the way back. He was so big that he could just lean into the guy and run straight into the quarterback. It was a different game then, and he was way bigger than me. I'm more a get-off guy, more get off, stutter bull, and mix it up, and I kind of play chess with guys and just look for my opening. Everybody has their own way of getting it. You just gotta find out what makes you great and just focus in on that.
Without being overly dramatic or overly cliche, the pass rush is a chess game, isn't it? Because if you're across the line from a guy and you're rushing 65 times, let's just say, you can't do the same thing every time. You can't do the same thing half the time.
Yeah.
You have to throw change-ups.
These guys get paid too. These guys getting paid close to $20 million too as well. These guys are incredibly gifted as well. And if you look at it, I've always been a fan of offensive linemen. I tell our offensive line coach, Coach Munchak, all the time. When I grow up, and if I ever go into coaching, I don't want to coach defense. I want to coach the offensive linemen. They have such a hard job. They do. They have such a hard job. They really got to pitch no hitters, every single game they go out. And if they have a mistake, it could lead to sack, forced fumble, game-changing plays, all of that stuff. So I really have, kind of admired the offensive line play. I can play 98 snaps, 60 snaps, and be people not even notice me. And then the last 2 plays of the game, get 2 sacks. It's like, oh, all right, Vaughn saved us. It's just two totally different games. So, I just got to find a way to get in there, and they got to find a way to stop me for the whole game.
I'm going to end with this. When you watch quarterbacks play so well late in their careers, like Drew Brees at 40 and Brady is turning 42 this year. So do you at all marvel at that? Are you shocked that quarterbacks can play that well? Or do you think that there are forces within this game that are helping quarterbacks because they're not taking the physical abuse that they used to take 15, 20 years ago?
No, I don't think that's it. These guys are taking care of their body beyond, in different ways that we have ever seen quarterbacks do it. I'm a big fan of Brady, unless we're playing him. Unless we're playing him. I've been around the guy. I've seen him work. I've seen him grind. And quarterbacks are just not doing that. Drew Brees is the same way. They're taking care of nutrition, or getting sleep. They're with their body work guys. The whole 9. Whatever it takes to make them better, that's what they're doing, and that's why they're playing into those 40s. And I think it's extremely encouraging as well, because if they can do it, why not us?
You guys going to be good this year?
I think we're going to be great. I think we're going to be a good team, and I'm not just saying that. You just got to really look at the pieces. We got great coaches, from top to bottom. We got great players from top to bottom, and that equals success. 95% of the time. We still got to go out there and play. We still got to do our thing, but we just lean on our coaches. Our coaches have been experienced. We got 2 head coaches on the squad right now. We got one of them that's coaching the offensive line. We got our head coach. He's coaching the defense as well. And it's just encouraging. You got all this experience. You got all these guys. They've been in so many different positions. Coach Fangio, he's so smart. And if you got a smart head coach, you got a smart team. And you still got to go out there and play. But great coaches and great players usually equal wins. So I'm just going to go with those odds.
Von Miller, thanks for joining me on the podcast.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Peter.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.